Lurch, you failed.
Shit.
You failed. You failed miserably. Jesus. One job only over there.
I had to go pick up the pizzas and fuel up your car. I mean,
I know, dude.
I'm starting to feel like you're lackey around here.
You're like my administrative assistant, dude.
Yeah,
you do good work.
I think I got knocked down a few pegs today.
Can you give me a back rub while I'm podcasting, please?
No.
Hey, Bikeaholics, Patch Addict has a premium embroidered patches for every passion. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/patch addict. Type in LAB-15, that's LAB-15 at checkout for 15% off your next purchase. Mm-hmm. Hey, Bikeaholics and listeners alike, the show is still going strong because of a lot of hard work and your support, of course. Thanks to all those loyal listeners and true friends of the show that have supported us or are supporting us. For less than a coffee a month, you can help support us too and put a little fuel in the law-abiding biker gas tank to make sure this show keeps moving on down the road. So, calling all law-abiding bikers, head over to our Patreon page and take action today. You can do so at lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Oh, did I mention there's benefits too? From all your friends at lawabidingbiker.com, we appreciate each and every one of you. God bless and ride safe. Let's just get into it, boys.
Let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, nice. That is right. We are live via YouTube Live. If you guys haven't checked it out, give them a big wave over there. YouTube Live. Of course, this will come out later in regular podcast format, guys. That's right. Welcome back, Bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the Big MM, also known as the
99%.
Large and in charge of the motorcycle scene more than any time in history. By listening to this very podcast, by watching this very podcast, you are part of what we call
The Biker Revolution.
In
bitches.
stereo, bitches. That's right. We do have one question for you.
What are you waiting for? Mount up and let us take you on another wild-ass ride.
Straight up, straight from Lurch, guys. Welcome back. Ryan Urlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast and your
high-tech redneck.
That's right. Straight up. Let's get it started right. You heard his voice right there. Big Daddy, the smooth operator.
Yo, girl, I gotta admit, you look so sweet. I'd like to take some time and get myself a treat. Then when I'm done and you're ready to eat, I give you a nice extra large popsicle treat.
Oh my God, the white rapper.
Dude, that was nice. Nicely executed, bro.
I think I would have given her something other than a popsicle treat, but not bad, not bad. You got skills.
No doubt.
Russell's got something to say.
No.
He looked like he had something to say. That's right, guys. Of course, you heard him, and I don't have a... Oh, dude. Lurch.
What?
You know what I need to do?
Z-Monster wants to know what's up with those armbands. Better
Oh,
tell him.
yeah.
These
go ahead
are
and tell
some
him.
Paps blue ribbon armbands because we've been working. I've been sweating. And so it's just got me a little bit of Johnny Mac sitting here today.
And Ryan likes a good cold PBR from time to time, and you hooked him up with those sweatbands.
Yeah, I got him at a career fair, believe it or not.
Of course you did. Did it come with some PBRs?
No, I wish they did.
They've been sitting over on that windowsill for a while. It's about time they got put into action.
I did. I used them. Here we go.
Roll on highway, roll on
Russell, Patron Russell Roberts, wave to the YouTube live audience, buddy.
Hey, guys.
That's right. Patron in the house. And of course, you guys have heard him in the past. Professional truck driver. He loves it when I play this song. Come on, Russell. It's a badass song. Roll on. Oh, there we go. The proper introduction, and none other than Lurch, of course.
Hey, did you get that other? Oh, never mind. I'll do this first.
There you go.
Oh, that was the best one I've ever heard.
That was. Because it's where you're in the studio, dude. You got the headphones on.
I found Convoy the other day for you, Russell. I thought that'd be a good one. Another alternative intro for you.
Oh, yeah, that was a good song.
Oh, yeah, Convoy, dude.
Yeah.
Might have to look that
10-4
up
Rubber
later.
Ducky.
10-4
Maybe
Rubber
the
Ducky,
next
yeah.
episode.
He sounds like it. Give us a good one.
Oh, man.
10-4 Rubber Ducky. What's your 20?
What's your 20? We're going to blow by those chicken coops.
Sweet, guys. That's how we roll here. Russell happened to be in the area, and he's been in the studio before. And
And it's good to be back.
Oh, God. Yeah, it's nice to have you back. We've had a full day. And I do want to give props to Russell real quick, guys. We're going to try to do a better live stream as far as the video quality, because we're using a webcam right now, and Russell's an audio visual guy, and believe it or not, Russell went out, and I didn't ask him, and he literally went to B&H Photo Video and purchased this, because he knows, because he's been in the studio before, what I need. I've been putting it off because we've been so busy, and he literally bought like a bunch of stuff, guys. We just didn't have time today to get the new setup going. We didn't have time to test it, but you can thank him, because hopefully our video feed will be a little bit better in the future. We might, after this, have time to test that a little bit. We are running a super chat, and if you want to help out, we'd really appreciate it, guys. Lower left-hand corner, there's a money sign. You can super chat, and you can quickly donate. And heck, maybe we can recover some of the money that he's putting into the live stream, because we're doing it for you guys, and anything that's made on this super chat will go back to Russell Roberts to help recoup his costs for his own hard-earned money back in here to make a better live stream for you. That's the kind of community we have growing here, huh? Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, we already got one super chat. I don't know if you saw it as we were getting set up there. Eric Showers.
Please call him.
Eric Showers threw out a super chat. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. And super chat, guys, you get to donate to the cause, and also you get your comment pinned depending on your level. If you don't know what super chat is, and you'll get it pinned there for an extended period of time, so it kind of stays at the top, is the way I'm understanding how it works, and it's a new thing on YouTube. And of course, this super chat will be dedicated. Whatever we do make on the super chat will go back to recuperate his out-of-pocket expenses. So we appreciate that. It's because of patrons that this thing goes on. With that said, where did you see where the super chat was pinned on there?
It scrolled through just like all the other chats.
Okay,
so I don't know. We're still.
But this
is new. We're trying to figure it out. Yeah, it's highlighted. If you scroll up a little bit, it's highlighted blue, and it's a little bit bigger.
Okay,
it's about 40 comments up there. So if you scroll up, you should see it.
Yep, I see it.
Okay, very cool. And I'm still getting the live chat. Awesome, guys. All right, with that said, we got an awesome topic for you guys today. We actually got multiple topics. We're not exactly sure where it's going to go. We do know that we're going to talk about Ciro 3D, Megaphone mufflers, and carbon fiber tips. Who wants to roll with kind of how let's talk about our day, and we're going to lead up to, we're going to tell you all about them. But we're going to tell you, again, we're not exactly sure. And if you guys have comments or things, we'll be monitoring that too and see where that takes us. But kind of a free-for-all. Besides, I do want to talk about that. Why don't we start out about how we rolled today and some of those things? I've got some notes too here.
Well, we'll start with the Ciro 3D muffler, since that was the first project.
Mm-hmm. I do.
And pretty interesting. We got a set of their new Megaphone 4-inch mufflers. And with those mufflers, they're very reasonably priced. But like a lot of kits now, they give you the base muffler, and then you get to choose the end cap that you want. So they have a wide variety of different end caps that you can add to that. And of course, we went with the stainless steel and carbon fiber look with what they call a 2-inch extended end cap. And I got to say, it looks pretty badass, especially on Michola. She's looked pretty good with it. And very clean cut install, no issues, and sounds absolutely fantastic. But I'm a little biased, so I'll let you three give your opinions too.
It really sounds good. I rode behind you today, and it sounds good.
Yeah, it's got a nice deep rumble. It's not real ratty, but still does pop a little bit here and there. Part of that, I think, is because it's a carbureted bike, but it's just got a really classic Harley sound.
Yeah, these are really, really high quality. You guys won't believe. I mean, some people want like you think like lighter because of your a lighter pipe, because the lighter maybe gives you a little bit more speed. But these are such a high quality. They're nice, and I hate to say heavy because I don't want to chase people off them thinking that they're too heavy. But they're
solid.
Just
they
solid.
are very solid.
Mm-hmm.
When you put it in my hands, I was like, "Whoa, that is solid."
Mm-hmm. If I had a nickel for every time I heard that,
you'd have a nickel.
5 cents.
A nickel.
And it was your very first time.
Good one. Yep, that's on me. Straight burn on me.
But yeah, they installed fantastic. Great finish. We went with the black, the powder-coated black. They also have the chrome. And that black was really tight, and it really fit well with that stainless steel and carbon tip. And I was running, before that, I was running some Shark Tail exhaust, and then I put the Screaming Eagles on it for this, just so we could kind of compare the black Screaming Eagles that I have that are originally from 2001, before the ban on a lot of those, before Harley couldn't sell those anymore. And I will tell you, I'm very impressed. Sounds better. I actually noticed a little bit quicker throttle response back, like I had with my Freedoms. Yeah, I noticed those Screaming Eagles, even though they're great mufflers, When I went from the Freedom Performance Shark Tails to those Screaming Eagles, I noticed a little bit of decrease in acceleration. And when I put these on, I noticed it was right back. And it's probably got something to do with those, even those Screaming Eagles, even though they were pre-band stuff, they were race only pipes. They're still clogged up.
Mm-hmm.
You got two little holes they're going through. They're basically letting everything through. This muffler is just letting everything flow out, and I was really impressed with it.
Why did we put 3D mufflers on your bike instead of something else?
Because I wanted the black look.
And we're sponsored by Ciro right now.
Ciro 3D,
Yeah. They wanted to get some shit in our hands, right?
They did. In fact, they said, we understand that this isn't part of the podcast sponsorship, but we want you guys to know our quality so that you're not, the old adage, it's one thing to talk about it. It's a whole nother thing to experience it and then really tell people what we think about it because we've experienced it. And having installed it, having rode it, having heard it, Brian was working my butt off on some drone shots today. So I got a lot of opportunities to go from, 0 to 30, 0 to 50, really get on it. And I was really impressed. And the first thing everybody said was, man, we were riding behind you and that thing sounds really good.
Yeah. I didn't get to ride behind you, so they have a different perspective of that.
Yeah, when you guys were filming, coming up out of the canyon, we were back behind you, and we could hear them, and it sounds awesome. It's just got that classic Harley sound, a nice deep rumble. You can still hear some of the loping, but it's not ratty.
Right,
it's a real good sound.
Yeah, it doesn't snap. It's deep.
Yeah, I did like that about them, that they weren't the ratty, raspy, which is cool for some bikes. But they sounded honestly after we got them. Obviously, high quality stuff. We wouldn't be promoting it to you guys. They sent us a bunch of products, but we at least wanted to test them. And I would have to say the build quality is amazing on them. Of course, we're a Vance and Hines distributor, and we love our Vance and Hines stuff, guys. And Rick's moving a lot of that stuff out of the store. Tons of Vance and Hines stuff, and we love Vance and Hines. But it's also good for us to branch out a little bit too, and because there is we do get asked. There's other stuff in the market, and I would have to say we're honest here. And, of course, we like to push Vance and Hines stuff because Rick sells it out of the store, and we back that stuff 100%. But we're also thinking, these Ciro 3Ds are nice, and hopefully Rick's working on a deal. Hopefully, in the future, we'll be able to bring to our store some Ciro 3D stuff for you guys, and this might be one of the first things that we bring just because we personally tested them for you guys. But they don't sound ratty. That with the megaphones, if you guys don't know what a megaphone is, if you want to look it up, I'm actually going to cut and paste. I'm going to pop a link directly to the product we're talking about, so you can take a look there in the live chat. You can hit that link and pull up what we're looking at here right in the studio. Go ahead, Lurch.
We got a question there in the live chat from Keith Walk. If I take the packing out of my 5.5 high flow Vance and Hines, will it hurt my back pressure? And we did that.
We get this question we answer this question like daily, which is great.
Yeah, so I have the OS 450 slip-ons on my bike, and I took the packing off around, and it doesn't change the back pressure at all that I noticed. It just, what that wrapping does is kind of deadens some of that popping and crackling, and kind of just smooths that sound out. You're not removing your baffles. You're not taking the baffle out. You're just taking the baffle wrap. So you will get a little bit more sound out of them. We did a comparison before and after. If you check out one of our videos that we did, it shows you how to take those out and the sound before and after. And I didn't notice any difference in the back pressure because the baffle's not there, isn't being taken out. It's just the baffle wrappings being taken out.
But
that makes sense.
It's perfect. We would say packing, right? I'm searching.
Yeah, you might be able to drop a quick link in the chat there so he can pull that up.
Right there. And what I did is I just went to our website. This is what we do, guys. I'm going to our own website. Upper right-hand corner, there's a search bar. I just put in remove packing, and bam, you'll come up with all the videos related to packing. I'm going to pop the link in here right now. I will say with that, I would definitely say, and we have FP3s, fuel pack 3s from Vance and Hines. We sell them right in our store, lawabidingbiker.com/store. Big Daddy Kane right here in the studio will hook you up with one. And we keep them in stock, ready to ship. We have FP3s on our bike, and we did do another auto tune after that.
I did.
But we didn't change any of the base mapping. All he did is said, I removed that. I'm going to run another auto tune. That's what's so nice about the Fuel Pack 3. That's why we love it, because it's that simple. He opened up another auto tune map, ran it for a couple weeks, some rides around, then closed it out.
Yeah, I left it open until I got as much green as I could there. And those of you that have played with the auto-tune map, as it turns green, it tells you it's learning all the different cells. And so the more green you get, the better. So as soon as I got enough that I was happy with, I flashed it, and it's been running great.
Yep. And totally separate, like we say, we want to make sure we isolate that. Is just a key on that is he's removing the packing. We did not remove the baffles. If you have pipes, not every pipe has packing. In fact, the megaphones, I don't believe they do. They do. Okay, they do have packing. But let's just say like the short shot staggered that are on our Dyna Lowrider S, those only have metal baffles. They have zero packing.
Rounds.
Yes, you're right. Good call. My twin slash rounds from Vance and Hines. If you were to remove those baffles, it's a question we get a lot. Yes, you're going to screw up your performance bad if you start removing the big metal baffles. It just doesn't provide enough back pressure. There's a reason straight pipes just don't offer performance. If they're just straight out the back from the heads, you're going to get the worst performance. You got to have some baffles in there to provide some sort of back pressure. All right. So,
and the cool thing about Vance and Hines is that they offer a variety of different types of slip-ons. I mean, you can go with what they call the radio friendly, the oversized, the Eliminator 400, stuff like that. They give you a nice little growl, but if you got a bagger and you're into the radio and you're worried about that, understand Vance and Hines does offer those products to where you can curtail that, whether it's the Eliminator 400 or the 450 OSs and stuff. They call them radio. They call them radio friendly. If you ever call their hotline, that's one of the things they advertised on there. So you can go from mild to wild, and that's why we like their products. And on my other bike, I have Vance and Hines on it. I'm still pro Vance and Hines. It was cool that Ciro 3D gave us these to test, and they told us, they said, we don't expect nothing. You don't have to do anything or talk about this at all. We just want you to know our products. And I have to say, I'm very impressed. I'm so impressed with these mufflers that I already text, and you know this, I already text the rep, and I'm like, yeah, I'd like to become a dealer and have these as another offering, because we do get that question where they're like, well, you guys sell Vance and Hines, but why don't you sell other stuff like the other merchants? Well, we're very picky on what we want to sell, and we have to try it and believe in it before we'll ever put it in the store. And we've always been that way.
Amen.
And those Ciro mufflers that you just put on there, they are loud enough to sound like a Harley. They have that classic sound. They're not quiet by any means, but they're not so loud they're annoying.
Right.
Or unreasonable.
To ride
it's right
behind.
It's right there in the sweet spot, I think.
I agree. Nice. The sweet spot. You're right. It does fall right in there. We got tons of patrons right in the live chat. You see Jan's in there? Jan's giving you all kinds of shout outs, Russell. All right. With that said, patrons are responsible. They're bringing this very episode to you. They are sponsors of the show. You want to thank them since you're a patron right there?
Hey, yeah. We got Craig Roberts of Medford, Oregon. He's a top tier. Harry LaCrosse of EastHartford, Connecticut, another top tier. And Gary McKinney of Almont, Michigan.
That's right.
I recognize a few of those names from the store. Thank you for your business.
Yeah, thanks for ordering from the store, right from Big Daddy. That's right. Lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. That's right. They took action. They pledged a certain amount per piece of content. No risk, because they can put a monthly cap on it so it doesn't get into the family budget too much, guys. That's right. And you can get free t-shirts and access, the biggest thing, to our private Facebook group. And also top tiers get access to our 4 purchase videos up on request. There you go. That community is absolutely blowing up. And honestly, it's been a crazy week. I need to get back in the private Facebook group. Have you guys been in there this week?
Yes, I have.
Thank you. I know you have.
And don't forget that it is a special t-shirt. It is a t-shirt that only the patrons get.
Nice. I forget about that. You run that. Yeah.
Yes. I decided to do something special for the patrons because they do so much for us. And most of what we get, we put right back into this thing, to whether it's buying product or buying stuff in the store. And we're trying to move this thing forward so that it is the biker revolution.
Yep.
And so I came up, I had a couple shirts printed out in different colors, and the one that I chose was the gray. And while a lot of bikers are stuck in the black, trust me, this gray shirt looks badass with
I got
the white.
A couple of them. Yeah,
Good.
It is.
It does.
It's a perfect gray.
I'm wearing the blue one right now that I tried, but I'll tell you, that gray looks tight
It's
with
like
that
a
white
charcoal.
logo. Yeah.
Speaking of, you see these blue shirts, Russ? You can leave your mic on. It's cool.
Yeah.
I have a whole stack. Remind me before you go.
Oh.
Because we'll give you a for helping out today. We'll give you one
thanks.
of these blue ones too. I'm
right.
pretty sure I have your size. There's that whole stack of them.
There's
up
a
there.
whole stack. Those were originally purchased for the group here. Blue, obviously symbolizing our profession and our pride in our profession, our pride in being law-abiding bikers. And so we keep them for special guests. And so
glad we
wear
thought
it with
of that.
pride.
Yeah, glad we thought of that. So
right,
that's
thanks.
on you to remember.
Okay.
Because you'll go out of here with
All
that
right.
one because I will
Thanks,
forget,
man.
as you
I
can tell.
appreciate that.
Yeah, awesome, guys. Awesome. We'll talk a little bit more about the Ciro 3D project, and I guess some other issues may come up on that. Let's talk about it. Actually, let's go with this. Lurch and Rick were actually hands-on. I was filming. Of course, we filmed all this for you guys as usual. Very awesome video that hopefully, sooner than later we'll have out, along with so many other videos that are in production right now. We're just killing it. And I'm sure Russell, which I want to get into a little bit, because he's been here before, but he's never been in one of the video productions. And this was a rather small one, but still probably fairly large scale with the amount of what we had to do today. And I'm curious to get his insight into the procedures and I should say the way we do business and his perspective. He talked to me a little bit about it. It'll be interesting for you guys as patrons and or even if you're not patrons, just the supporters that are in the private Facebook group, or excuse me, the chat and in the YouTube community in general, to kind of see what it was like behind the scenes, because we pushed a lot in today on that. And so we started this morning early. Actually, it was a later start than we usually do. We usually start about 8-ish, but I think we must have got started about 10-ish or so. You showed up a little bit after that, didn't you, Lurch?
Yeah, usually I come over about 8:30.
Yeah.
And I told you I was going to be a little late this morning because I knew these guys are going to be here. So when I rolled in about 10:30, I was surprised you guys had just gotten going. So
Yeah.
what's up with that?
Well, we actually had gotten going, but the thing is, I got up early. I was up at like 7 because I got all the shop swept, everything, bikes out, moved. I had video gear, lighting all up. Gosh, it must have been after 10 then when you guys actually got here. By the time we unboxed everything, I had to get product shots. Didn't I get a few, or was that after I got product shots?
No, I got here about 10:30 and you're putting that last muffler on, so you probably started about 9.
Yeah, we started. I think
got
we
here at
started
10.
about 9:30 or so.
Fair?
I got here at 10.
Yeah, you did get here at 10. That's right.
So our appointment time was 10 o'clock.
Right. So we must have got started about 10:30. But nonetheless, we're filming it for you guys. This video will come out. And in this video, it's kind of cool too. Actually, we'll get into the sound. We'll give you an idea what they sound like the best we can on video with the audio gear that we used. It's kind of our standard place that we do those tests for you guys. But you guys ran into a little issue that you might want to talk about with clamps and things like that. Why don't you two get into that? That would be good for the listeners when you're changing slip-ons out, remembering that this is an old bike. And then why don't you also talk about, Lurch, the throttle cable or clutch cable issue we had. I think these are some good things that we ran into that would be great for the listeners. You guys roll with that. I'm going to drink. Sayonara, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Why do you got to be like that?
Well, first of
All
all,
you.
before I start talking about the clamps, I think when I talk about the quality of the product, I handed over to Russ. I actually handed him the end pipe, the cap, and I said, "Feel how heavy this is." And he looked at me. He's like, "Holy smokes! I mean, this isn't like a piece of rolled stainless steel, or just chromed out thin steel. I mean, this is a very heavy exhaust cap." Stainless steel with a carbon fiber. The whole thing is very heavy. So when we went to put it on, Chola is a 2001. She's 16 years old. And of course, we go to put on the pipes, and the right side actually worked really well. And the clamps I was using were the regular clamps that I've used both for the Shark Tails and for these Screaming Eagles. And on the left side, we had a little bit of an issue to where it was just, we couldn't get the clamp down tight enough for the muffler. I mean, it wasn't though it was falling off, but you could tell it was slipping a little bit. So we ended up taking it for an initial test ride, doing some filming, some GoPro filming up close. And then Lurch noticed, hey, it's moving a little bit. So we went ahead and ended up, actually Lurch ended up coming up with the idea. We were able to take out the spacer. And this is just a stock Harley clamp, and so over the years, it's obviously stretched a little bit. And if you look at like some modern clamps that are out there, in fact, I've had a set of other brand clamps where they don't even use the spacer in the middle. So when he said, "Hey, let's do this," we tried it. It actually worked. We were able to tighten it down enough. So just remember that, when you're dealing with an older bike, if you got older clamps, I usually, when I get a lot of exhausts now come with new clamps. These did not come with a new clamp, but we were able to make it work because we feel comfortable kind of modifying things. So we were able to take that spacer out and make it work. And at first we were like, well, we'll just go down and buy a new Harley-Davidson clamp. But when I started researching different clamps that are available through any of our affiliate links, we have an affiliate link with J&P Cycle and Revzilla. We find that there's a wide variety of clamps out there. There's some that use the spacers, like what you'll see on your Harley-Davidson when you go to take off. And then there's some that are really nothing but the clamp, and it's just the bolt. And so that's what we did. We basically modified it to fit, and it looks like it's working just fine. So just be prepared that, don't get stressed out, especially if we get a lot of new bikers, Ryan. I mean, Lurch, you know this too. We get a lot of new bikers. This is their first bike or it's their first Harley. And they can stress out about little things like that. Well, the pipe's moving, or this pipe is a little bit, further in than the other. Is that normal? Anytime you're going with aftermarket exhaust, you have to deal with, slipping that onto the header. And so be prepared to, think outside the box a little bit. In this case, that's what we did. We were able to get it tightened down nice and tight. It worked. I don't know that I'm even going to have to mess with it, but just be flexible with that. That's the thing about aftermarket products. Doesn't matter what the brand is, as long as it's a high quality brand. But in the future, I think if I was going to do this again, I would probably just order two brand new clamps, and I would probably just do that from the get-go. Just like if I was replacing the headers, even though we know, because we've all done it, we can actually reuse, those
crush
washers, as long as they're not tore up. But I always, whenever I put a Vance & Hines header system, or I ever mess with, the first thing I do is order a Vance & Hines, gasket, for the head. So this one we probably should have. We didn't know that the pipe didn't come with the clamp already. We didn't know.
Right.
And so we were able to make it work. But that was the only real issue we had is we had to do a little modification to the clamp so that we could get it tightened down well enough. And it was only on that left side. And I will tell you, it's got really nothing to do with the Ciro 3D megaphones, because I actually had that issue before with a set of another brand pipes that I'd had on that bike several years ago, a set of Reinhardt's, and it had done the same thing. And I bought a brand new clamp for it. And then when I took the Reinhardt's, those brand new clamps, I actually gave those clamps with those Reinhardt's slip-ons. So just be prepared that you can run into little things like that.
Yeah, you're right. I think that stock clamp that you had on there, it's from 2001, and over the years, because you've changed your exhaust, like you change your underwear once a week.
And his Facebook names.
And his bikes. And you're right. The thing is, I mean, it gets hot. You crank it down, and it does.
Look at Russell's laughing his ass off at you because we've been bugging you all day.
It's the same damn Facebook I've had this entire time.
Good job.
Facebook,
the name a little
different
bit.
Names,
right?
I've only had 2 names on it,
and that's not what Brian said. He said before that. I remember before.
No, that was a different account. I had it when I was in the street crimes unit. I had an account under I'm Rick James. Mm-hmm. I'm Rick James, bitch.
Love
Unity. Just to clean that up a little bit on those stock exhaust clamps. There's a block that's in between the two sides of the band. The bolt runs through one side of the band, through a block, through another side of the band, and then there's the nut. So that block in there only allows you to tighten down that clamp so much. And we were maxed out. We couldn't get it any tighter, and it wasn't tight enough. So we opened up that clamp and removed the block off of the bolt, and that allowed us to go just a little bit tighter, and that's all we needed. Now that thing's nice and snug.
Yeah, Michael Register says, I've got that problem with my Vance & Hines. One pipe lower than the other at the rear. Custom True Duals on my Heritage.
What do you got to say to that? You're the Vance & Hines. And let me tell you, Big Daddy here is a wealth of knowledge because he answers a lot because he has a moving Vance & Hines stuff out of our store. Hit up our store, guys. We're going to get you great deals. And, of course, you know the face behind it. The face and who you're supporting. So we can get you as good as deals anywhere else online. You just got to get to our store. If you don't see it there, just ask Rick on the contact form there. He can get anything Vance & Hines. We only have some of the products listed, the more popular ones, but he can get you prices on anything, guys.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Our customers, I think, realize that, these are custom. Some of these are, most of them, the pipes and the headers and stuff are custom order. And being that we're a direct dealer with them, we are subject to what they have in stock. So it's not uncommon. You could call me and say you want this pipe, and I could end up calling you back and saying, hey, they've got 15 back ordered and they're not going to have these for 3 weeks. And then I always give the person the option. Do you want to cancel the order? Do you want to try something else? Do you want to keep them? We're very, very fortunate that most people are saying, nope, you're giving me such a good deal that I want to keep it. The FP3s we keep in stock. The VO2s, we've got a few of those in stock. Right now, I can't believe our FP3s are just flying off. Those are, not only are they fantastic, we're not saying this because we sell them. Literally, we believe in that FP3. It is the easiest to use tuner on the market, in my opinion.
And we got a free video right in our store, right on the product listing page. It shows you exactly how to, once you get it out of the box, it's free, how to get it up. It's the most popular FP3 video on entire YouTube. It has more hits than any other FP3 video.
And to answer your question,
Take that.
To answer your question before we got a little sidetracked on the FP3, there is, with any exhaust, it doesn't matter if it's Vance and Hines, if it's Ciro, if it's Reinhardt, it doesn't matter. You've got, the natural instinct is to push those bad boys on as far as you can. And I'm saying that because I know it from experience. When I did my first set of exhausts, slip-on exhausts, I shoved them on as far as I could, and then I found out that they were about an inch off. You've got quite a bit of leeway there to play with. You can slide them back and forward on both sides until you get them centered up. In fact, I even went over to Rick's bike with the tape measure to check, and he had already eyeballed them, and he was within 1/8 of an inch, so we didn't adjust them. So you've got a little room there where you can back one off or push one forward. You can get them so they're both the same distance so that they look right. You know what I'm saying? They're lined up with your bags, and they're both a certain offset. Both of them have the same offset.
Nice.
Yeah, he threw me for a trip because he goes, are you sure that they're even? I go, well, they look like in the end. And he goes, well, we'll measure this. And he gets out the tape measure. I'm like, oh, shit. Did
Leave
I
it to
fail?
Lurch
Did I
knows.
fail? And he's like, actually, you were right on with your eyesight. And I was like, all I was doing was looking over them. And yeah, there is a lot of variance there, especially on that left side.
Yeah.
For some reason.
It's a lot longer over on that left side.
Yeah. And so you've got a lot of variance there to slide that in and out. And people get a little freaked out like that. Well, I've stuck it all the way on and it's like an inch shorter. Back it off an inch and tighten it down. That's just the way that they do it. Now, that is stock headers. Those are original stock headers from 2001. So, and they don't have cats, and that's why I haven't gotten rid of them, because they didn't have, the cats back then. So, but you go to an aftermarket one, whether it be a True Dual or Dresser Duals or whatever you're choosing, just understand that, you may have that, and you can do that. It doesn't have to be forced all the way on. It's nice if it does because it reduces the opportunity for exhaust leaks coming back out of that. But if you have them on there far enough,
they never leak. Yeah, they expand. I mean, rarely, unless it's right on the edge, right?
Yeah, you got enough play in there to make sure that your exhaust is lined up and symmetrical.
Right. Dan J., Dr. Dan, patrons in there. He says, you're probably supplying the entire state of California with fuel pack 3s.
I saw that.
I sell a lot to California. I actually had a guy email me. He goes, is it legal for me to buy this from you in California? I said, I don't know. You need to check your local laws, but I've never been told. It ain't illegal
for us to sell.
I've never been told I can't sell it to somebody in California.
Right, because they can be used for whatever application the customer wants.
Well, they're race only, remember. They're marked as race only.
Well, they're all racers in California that are buying them. Don't worry about it.
Exactly. They all use them on a track.
That's all
they
we
never
know.
use them on the freeway.
Dan's racing with it. Don't worry about it. He's just a racer, dude. Straight up. We're glad to hear you're well, Dan, by the way. He's very involved as a patron. You know him, Russell, from the private Facebook group.
Yep. Mm-hmm. It's good to see him back on his feet.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about that today. Yeah, definitely. All right. With that said, who wants to tackle this? Mm-hmm. Anybody got it? Anybody?
Which one?
Right here. It's right up.
Oh, all right, I'll do it.
Yeah, you better do it.
Hey, bikeaholics, feed your addiction. Patch Addict has badass embroidered patches for every passion, and the quality is unmistakable from this family-run company based out of Austin, Texas.
Yeehaw!
More than 800 patches to choose from. These patches look great on vests, hats, gear bags, motorcycle covers, and more. A huge assortment, and I mean huge assortment of large, back-sized patches, plus military, Irish, religious, funny, patriotic, road sign patches, and more. They design their own patches, so they have dozens of exclusive patches that you won't find anywhere else. Head on over to www.lawabidingbiker.com/patch addict. Not only will you get free shipping on every order over $25, plus you'll get 15% off when you use our special only coupon code of LAB-15. That's capital L, capital A, capital B, 15.
Like a pro, He is a smooth operator.
He did that good.
Didn't
I got
he?
a bunch of those patches. I love them. They're top notch.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Good. Nice. Russell, so you hit up, did you use our coupon code?
Oh, yeah.
Did it work?
Oh, yeah.
That was a scam, dude. I'm surprised it worked.
It
Just
fucking
teasing.
worked,
I'm
man.
teasing.
It worked.
We just made up that code so people would go there and try it.
But it really is. Well, it really works, too. But, I mean, they're flawless.
Right.
Every one of them I got.
They are a great company. And Rick did his research before he went. You know, they wanted to sponsor us, and we would never, you guys know us here, ever take a sponsor if we didn't believe in them. So Rick did his damn research on that and was like, yep, they're the real deal. And he got some samples, and we wanted to make sure they're a huge, huge patch company. And they are obviously care about the biker community because they're supporting us. All right. Mm-hmm. We want to talk about, before we got to let Russ do some talking here. I'm curious, but why don't you talk about the other thing we found with the clutch cable adjustment? Just some things you need to be aware of that we ran into, and we're filming, and it's stuff we run into, you know?
Yeah, we were putting some new levers on Big Daddy Kane's
Film that too today.
Of
Film
course
that for
we
you guys.
did.
Mm-hmm.
He had the stock alloy. They're not really chrome, but they're kind of aluminum alloy levers, and he wanted to black them out because he's blacking out quite a bit of that bike. And when we went to do the clutch side, first of all, he had a not an aftermarket per se because it's a Harley-Davidson clutch cable, but it's extended. It's not original to the bike. And it had this, we couldn't figure out how to get this little collar off that was basically a decorative piece that slid down and covered up the adjuster nuts. On a lot of bikes, it just comes with a black rubber boot that slides up over it. This had this really neat chrome cover that slid down in place, but because of the way it was designed, a bunch of water and gunk had gotten in there over the years, and we had a hell of a time getting that sucker off. So we finally got it off and had a bunch of rust and crust and gunk in there, and we had to clean that all up. So we kind of ran into that.
Yep. Nice. The little things you run into.
Yep. Didn't take too long to figure out. It took 4 of us
Right.
to look at it and go, okay, how does this turn off? We thought at first maybe it just
We've never run into one like that
no,
before.
we thought maybe it threaded into place, and it turns out it just slid up and down. And the reason it wouldn't move is because there was so much gunk in there. So once we slid it up out of the way, we used some WD-40, got it all cleaned up, and took a wire brush to it, and it's as good as new.
Yep. While we're in there, we lubed up Big Daddy's cables. We're going to show you, of course, this video, everything we shot today, none of it is for purchase. Of course, 95% of our content is for free. We only sell a very small amount to help support this. And this, again, you guys watching our YouTube channel, it's blowing up. We are like 32 or 33,000 subscribers at like 5.9 million views. And it's because of you guys and your continued support of us. And of course, we're working hard to try to crank it out, which Russell's going to get to here in a minute. Talk about his view, and maybe Russell, you can also talk about some of the different things that we did today to grab the footage. And we were lucky to have Russell. He's an audio visual guy. Again, we are running a super chat, and don't forget, guys, lower left-hand corner, there's a money sign. If you want to leave a super chat, that's to help recoup the cost out of pocket that Russell bought a whole bunch of live streaming gear so we can make this production. Hopefully the next time you see us, the video will be even more crisp and high definition. He bought that just to make this community and this live stream better for you guys. Basically what he was saying is, Ryan, get off your ass and get it fixed. Yeah, dude, that was a straight, he's nudging me. Ain't that right, Russell?
Yeah.
So, so if you guys super chat, you get your comment, post, and all that. And again, it helps support this, guys. We're going to get into a little bit of Russell, but first, of course, we love our patrons. We love our patrons. They're very involved in the live chat. We got a patron right here in the studio, but you know what? If you can't become a patron for whatever reason, we never, ever balk at a flat donation. We want to thank the following people. Go.
We got Howard Keys of Miramar, Florida, Barry Sobel of West Bloomfield, Michigan, Robert Scartozzi, also Enrique Graham and Dennis Barrialt of Ontario, Canada, a big donation, and Michael Clark, another big donation, and he's also a fellow LEO from the west side of Washington.
West side of Washington State. Thanks so much, guys. lawabidingbiker.com/donate. I popped a link in the live chat there. And, all right. Yeah. Awesome. We love the donations. We're not going to, as Lurch likes to do, we're not going to balk at a flat donation. That's right, guys. All right, Russell, let's get into it. Straight up. because you're in the studio. We want to hear you talk. Anything else that and we may be able to cover a little more of the Ciro 3D mufflers if something comes up, but we pretty much talked about the install and the sound and all that, guys. And of course, the video will be coming out. So Russell gets here. I'll set up the stage a little bit, and then I'm going to let him just wrap on the mic here, because I think it's cool for me to get their perspective of behind the scenes. He's been in the studio before, he's been in the garage, but he's never really seen the production side of things. And we've talked back and forth, and it was great to have Russell, I'll say, because he's a photographer and a very good photographer. And he actually shot a whole bunch of stuff with his DSLR today. And so we don't really have a photographer here because we're too busy shooting video, and I don't have enough staff to be shooting. So he got some great photos from behind the scenes, guys. And hopefully you'll see some of those in time on different articles and things we're putting out online. We'll probably share some of them in the private Facebook group. He can share them directly right there once he gets them edited up. But so he knows a little bit about, a lot about audio visual stuff, guys. And so it'll be neat to see what he thought behind the scenes and the production. And I've talked back and forth with Russell. I bounce ideas off him and stuff. And I always say, I'll leave it with that and I'll let you talk, is that I wish Russell lived here, because I would abuse the living shit out of him. And he would probably learn to hate me because I'd be bouncing ideas off him and having him help me with stuff. And so to start with that, Russell, we show up this morning, and he's staying here the night. He's got his tractor here. He's a professional truck driver. He did an episode in the past with us, but he's got his tractor. He'll be staying the night here, and then he's got to bug out in the morning. So why don't you start with that, Russell, and just go about your observations and from morning to all the way to lunch and afternoon. And we'll just, if you guys got questions or input, we'll just go from there.
Well, I got here this morning. The rest of the guys hadn't gotten here yet, but you were already, the garage was open. You had almost everything out of the garage, and I was like, okay, we're ready to go.
Ready to rock and roll.
Yeah. So after hugs, we was chatting a little bit, and then up come Big Daddy and Brian. They pulled up, and Rick was ready to get rare, and he was ready to pull it up on the lift. But you weren't ready because you wanted to get some B-roll.
Oh, yeah, I did want to get some B-roll.
The amount of B-roll you do blows my mind.
Sorry, I didn't mean. Yeah.
It just blows my mind.
Right.
And things I wouldn't have ever thought of. I was just soaking it all in. I'm learning as just watching you. And it was cool to see, the way you direct.
Yeah, interesting. Because this is what I want to hear. So roll with it. Yeah.
Well,
so,
I mean,
I'm a pretty shitty director, aren't I?
No, but you're a stern director.
Am I stern? That's good to hear. Am I stern? I keep things on track.
But no, you're not an asshole.
Right.
I mean, like you see directors
you can call
are
me
in
an asshole,
Hollywood,
right?
In the movies and TV shows, you're nothing like that. But no, everybody knows your goals, your objectives, and everybody follows along.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool to see. There's no animosity going on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Was it more structured as far as my directing
Very
than you
structured, yeah.
Before? Because you watch our YouTube videos. Obviously, for years, you're one of the first supporters of Law Abiding Biker Media. But is it more, even now that you've known us for 3 years, more structured than you figured it would be?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
A little more. And because I don't do, TV productions and studio productions. All my experience is, live events. Mm-hmm. So it's different. But just to watch, how you direct them. And also you and Lurch, the way you guys collaborate.
Mm-hmm.
You're throwing you're bouncing stuff back and forth throughout the way you're doing it. And you're like, then you decide, how you're going to go. And I thought that was pretty cool to see, because it really brings your objective is to bring knowledge to everybody. And to be able to portray that is hard to do.
Right.
How do I describe that? But it's like, I can tell you how to do something, but it may not make sense.
Right. It matters
and
on the instructor.
You guys are bouncing ideas around while you're doing this so that it will flow. I guess it's the way, to look at it. And also the famous saying that Aldi always says, step by step.
Step by step without skipping any steps. And that's interesting. Isn't it funny to hear Lurch and Rick, because you guys are on the production side of it. And Lurch has been doing the production side of it a little longer than Rick's, but Rick's picked it right up. And I think it's because I did too. Lurch did get some training in the video side of it, which we haven't had time to do that with Rick yet. And so I think that the bouncing ideas off, especially, on Lurch, is because we've done it enough and he understands, which is why we're unique, I think, to most there's some other people, and I'm not talking bad about any, but there's some other entities that try to do instructional videos for motorcycles. But the problem is, and I've always said that, is the videographer doesn't know shit about Harleys, and the Harley guy doesn't know shit. Harley guys don't know shit about videography. Right. And when you can combine that, Lurch knows enough to know what I need, and I know enough about the mechanic side of it to know that that didn't make sense, or it doesn't make sense.
That's what I witnessed today. Yeah. You guys were, the way you went back and forth.
Right. And I think that in my head, and it's good to hear.
And it's not a long, drawn-out process between
It's not, is it?
No, you guys were quick getting down to the bone. I mean, it was...
We're both, and
it wasn't always like that, because the first few videos that I did with Ryan, the very first one I think we did, I think I came and watched you and Lurch do a couple, and then the first one that you and I did was the detachable trunk for that 2014 Ultra. And that one, and then the stereo videos that we did, you were always like, okay, what's your game plan? What are you going to do? What's your step? He doesn't even have to do that with me now.
Right.
Now I already know. I'll look at him and I'll say, this is my game plan. I'm going to take these. Now on more intricate projects, we'll literally talk about it. But most of the time I can look at him and say, like today, this is my game plan. We'll start with taking the bag off. Then we'll do this. We'll hit the rear bolts. Then we'll hit the front bolt. And but see, it wasn't like that when I first started. When I first started doing it with him, I was like, what the fuck are we doing? Let's get these fucking parts on, Let's just film me putting the parts on. Why do we have to take so long?
Ryan had to train you.
Do it, and you do it, and you do it several times. I kind of anticipate what he's looking for now, and that's why when we do have guys from Lab that come in and do some of the video stuff, whether Chewy or Rob or any of those guys, unless they're doing it all the time. It's good to talk about it first, but I think even though we still talk about it, we don't have to talk as much because I know what you're looking for.
Right.
And that comes with time. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
It's just you get with time. And so I think he saw some of that where it was just, you just knew what I was going to do, and we didn't have to necessarily.
It's like old married couples.
Yeah.
They can just look at each other and communicate. You know what I mean?
You're in trouble.
We've been working together in a professional aspect for 17, 18 years. So we've been around each other for a long time. And we understand each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We understand how crazy we both are.
You're right. And the cool thing is, and I think you saw it, and I'm going to let you talk some more, but I love the interjection here. I think it's behind the scenes a little bit for the audience, which is really cool, to give a little how we produce all this stuff for you guys.
Oh, and it's amazing. I can't get over that. I mean, you guys are working full time. And I see what you're pumping out week after week after week, every month. And it's just like, shit.
It was a long week.
I don't know how you pull it off.
I know we talked about my sleep schedule.
Yeah,
Russ was worried about me, thank you. And it's been a long 3 years. It's going to pay off, guys. And, as hopefully we can do more content for you guys. And as we near retirement, we still got a ways out, but that maybe we can roll into this and produce more content for you guys. So we're just trying to keep it rolling for that, guys. But what was I going to say? Oh, the other thing is, with us being pretty close and brothers, we don't get too offended. We can razz each other, or if something's just not going right, we can just tell. Nobody's going to take it personal. And that's the nature of our career. Just because of what we do, you can't have to do what we do. You can't have thin skin. So
that's professionalism.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We don't let it push our buttons basically, and we blow it off. And I think that, I'm mature enough, we've worked together for you to give me an idea and you to give me an idea, Matt. I'm pointing at Rick and Matt, and I'm willing to go, yeah, you're right. That's actually a better idea. Even though I'm the videographer on this, you're right. That's a better idea and cool. And I'm able to tell you guys the same thing. And you're like, yeah, you're right. My hand's completely blocking this shot. Let me readjust. And it's a pain process.
Today, Rick was in the lighting.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Mr. effing up my lighting all day.
At least,
I thought he was humping the light, dude.
At least 30 times.
I got one that
and my backdrop, huh, Russ?
Oh, yeah.
Oh God, Rick's. He gives.
I saw him go back there and get something and not put it back.
Twice, I started doing it on purpose. So, and he knew what I was doing because he'd look at me and smile, and he'd be like, "Can you close that curtain?" Hey, Russ, I got a question for you. This is being an outsider, and this is good conversation. You saw two projects today. One rather simple. I mean, for us, because we've all done it, we've done the mufflers and stuff.
Right.
But for somebody who's new, who this is their first Harley, or maybe this is their third Harley, but they've always taken it to the dealer and now they're realizing that they can do some of this themselves. It's not necessary. I don't mean to say act like it's trivial that, you know, that because some people have never taken or changed off their mufflers. This video is going to be very valuable. But for us, it's rather simple. So it went rather quickly, but then you got to see something a little bit more technical, that required a little bit more finesse to it with the lever job. And so I would like to hear you and Matt talk about, because Matt did the lever job, and there is some technical pieces to that lever job, a lot more than just sliding on some slip-on mufflers. And so you got to see a little bit more of him and that interaction between him and Ryan talking about, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is what we have to do to make this work. Talk about that as you saw the difference of like a project that went relatively very quickly because putting on slip-on mufflers is not, and then to a technical and seeing how that interaction changed.
Yeah. The muffler slip-on job, the production for that was really, really, really simple. I mean, it wasn't much to it. And then the Matt getting in, Lurch getting into the lever stuff, that was more stop and go as far as doing the work because of, you know, well, getting the video, getting B-roll, getting background roll, you know, but also you guys going, well, and this is what we need to do next, or this is what I'm going to do next. You know, I wasn't listening to everything you guys said to each other, but watching you just the way you were up there on the lift working on it, I thought, wow, that was like, I don't know how to phrase it, but it was like you guys were, you know, Jedi Knights together or something. You know what I mean? It's like you were thinking along the same lines, but yet you were not thinking the exact same thing. I could sometimes tell,
right.
You know, it's like, well, you know, and you'd ask Matt, well, are you going to, you know, I don't even know how you
What are you
put
doing
it.
next?
Basically. But you weren't being bossy about it. I mean, it was like, it was conversational.
Right.
And I thought that was neat. That was unique. Because I've been in other productions and it's not like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. You talked about some of the audience may not know what B-roll is. You talked about the amount of B-roll I captured. Do you want to just explain that to them?
B-roll is
or
filler.
insert
It's
shots,
filler,
right?
It's filler clips. It's insert shots.
Yes.
It's not, you know, it's usually pretty, you know, you clip them short.
Right.
And drop them into your video.
And you saw some of the where I do one shot with Lurch and I'll go, okay.
Now put it back together and take it apart again.
Now do that
I did
whole
see that.
from a different angle.
Yeah.
Because I'm, you know, a lot of times that can be done with two cameras, but you can also be I'm good at it now to do all that with one camera. And it's more convenient and quicker for moving around. You know what I
there's
mean?
less setup time.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
He knows, yep, do that same thing. And you guys laugh, you know, in the YouTube, they're like, yeah, that's why these video projects take us so long because we're literally doing a lot of things twice or I'm getting different angles. I'm like, redo that. There was a couple shots we had to take over because it just didn't go well.
Yeah, well, like with the mirror, you end up having to take it all the way off.
Right, yes. And me being involved, like I say, I think it allows me, because I edit all the video, not only do I know the mechanics, I know the videographer, Lurch knows some of the videography and the mechanics. Rick knows the mechanics, of course, some of the video shots I'm looking for, and then I can take it into edit. You know, that's a problem with some of, you know, having somebody that just does the videography and doesn't know anything about mechanics. They can skip stuff because they don't even know how to edit it because they don't know what's next. They're like, I think that goes next, you know. So I think it brings a different dynamic into it.
Exactly.
You know.
So yeah, the final edit is, you know, what order everything should be.
All the bad shots, I go, you know, I can just go, nope, we're not supposed to do that next. That was a bad shot. That's a redo. Okay. And I don't have to do a lot of the, you know. Yeah. Very, very interesting. So why don't you talk, so we got that done and what else in the studio? You weren't there. You had to step out during, I did all my intros. Did you know that while you were gone?
Oh, did you?
I bumped out with the white background and all that,
yeah.
you know.
You were setting up for it and then I had to go out to the truck.
Yeah. Bumped all those out. So we'll be able to put those in the videos. Got that done. And then I want to talk a little bit about, well, we had a nice lunch. That's and you got to ride the Dyna Lowrider S
got to ride
with the
it
new
again.
bars. Yeah.
I love it with those bars now. Well, I loved it before, but I could definitely ride a lot longer with these on there.
Yeah, so he's talking
Much
about
more comfortable.
the West Coast MXT bars we put on at 12-inch. Last time he rode it, it had the stock. Speaking of Rick, I mean to tell you before you leave, but you're probably loaded with your motorcycle. But those stock bars that we took off the Dyna Lowrider S, those are under the workbench, and remember, those are yours, along with that other set of bars. So just FYI, I still have
I
them.
need to get up here with a cage, and because I'm going to have to pick up my Screaming Eagle mufflers, and then I need to. So we'll have to plan something where I'm up here next time with a cage, and I'll just text you, and you can set them outside or give me the garage code or whatever, and I'll just come in and get them.
Yeah, Rick's going to sell our stock bars off that Dyna. But those new 12-inch MXT bars, of course, lawabidingbiker.com/Harley handlebars gets you to all our 4 handlebar install videos, and that is one of them. All the videos have multiple files, guys, and that was a fun project. Me and Lurch did that, put the MXT bars on there. They're 12-inch, but Russell, it was definitely a comfort issue because you were like me, you're about the same height as me.
Yeah, and it was killing my neck. Well, not killing it, but
the stock bars.
It was giving a kink in my neck, after riding all day.
Kind of felt like you had to hunch forward.
Right, yeah. And, we rode up to Rosslyn that day.
Mm-hmm, right.
Back.
Yep, the brick.
Was it an hour and a half?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
So, I was already feeling it in my neck. I think with these, I could go further.
And I think the problem is the bike originally had mid controls, so you're going to be leaning forward more in a sport bike riding position if you want. And so you're going to naturally be leaning forward and grabbing onto those bars. Once we put the forward controls on, you went more into a Western saddle, they call it, more of an American saddle, and you're sitting upright. Then it takes you away from those bars. So those MXTs went up and back. So now you can sit in that relaxed saddle in that American riding position with your feet out in front of you, and not have to reach so far forward for those stock bars.
And that's how I rode today.
Yep.
It was much more comfortable.
So we got and we're always pushing here, guys. Tell me this, riddle me this, Russell. This, I told you, was an easier video production day, but it never turns out that way.
No.
Because we pumped in a lot. Were you surprised at all at the amount of stuff? Because I was hoping it was going to be a more relaxing. Didn't I tell you guys this? I was like, I'm going to try to not be as rushed right up to and we were right up to the
you
live.
and I was going to hang out for a couple hours.
We were going to set up the new live video feed.
We didn't get to do that.
That didn't happen.
No.
No.
Well, our lunch was good, but it was a little slow.
That was smoke, 35 minutes. But
then we went up the canyon and did some drone shots.
Let's talk about that.
That was cool.
Let's talk about that because I've done it twice now with the drones, and it's kind of an interesting situation. You being a drone guy, a videographer, a technician, let's say, of visual arts.
I like it.
Technician of visual arts.
That's nice.
What did you think about that? Because it is, when people see it on the videos, they think, fuck, that looks badass. They don't realize how many takes and back and forth, and you're going back and forth.
And me trying to get them.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of practice.
Give us because people tell us, man, that's cool, but it's not easy.
No. And a lot of people love the drone shot, and they're like, I'm going to get a drone. And I'm like, I'm all for you guys getting drones, but you have no idea how much practice you have to do to get moving, like cinematic type proper shots, like without wrecking. I almost wrecked it today again. Yeah. I came close to wrecking, and I'm telling you guys, and I practiced a lot with the drone, and I know what type of shots I want to get, and we were, all the other tech stuff that goes into it and ND filters. Yeah, go ahead.
We have a live question. I think it's very appropriate based on this conversation.
Well, you're laughing already, so it's got to be funny.
Would like to know if you got close to hitting anybody with the drone today.
Did I almost take any person out today?
No, you almost took out the telephone wires, I think, or a telephone pole.
That was sketchy. I'm not going to lie to you. I got worried.
And it's hard to tell from as far as away as we were, but it looked like you were really close.
I need to take binos next time so you can actually watch it in binos and give me a better, you're a visual observer,
Okay. I'll need some gyroscopic binoculars, sir.
Z-Monster, I did not almost kill one of my friends today. I'm just telling you guys to get the kind of shots that you see on our YouTube channel. That takes hundreds of hours of practice, drone flying and cinematic shots to do those kind of speeds. Stationary objects, that's another thing. I'd start there. But Russell got to see how quick that I can... we stopped in the canyon. Were you surprised? And Russell's a drone guy. It's been a while since he's flown. He has an older... drone, but I were you surprised at how fast I can get going and up in the air and production.
Oh,
Time is money, man. And we had to get back for this live
You've
episode.
gotten very efficient.
Oh
with the
my
drone.
God. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, well, when you don't want to have to take time to swap batteries out, you're going to get the most out of that.
Right.
And
what's your thoughts on this whole drone thing today? You enjoyed that.
I would. Yeah.
You were in hog heaven.
Oh, you bet.
He wasn't the one burning up on his bike.
Rick was not in hog heaven.
No. I wasn't. I was enjoying the breeze out there, but it was really cool. And I'm probably going to end up buying one of them. But I mean, mine's so old compared to that, and bulky. Mine's too big. But
yes, to pack on a motorcycle. Yeah. And a lot of guys ask me. Feel free to ask me on the YouTube channel. I'll tell you some of the stuff I use. But again, doesn't matter what you get if you don't know how to use it properly. It's not going to do much. But talk about that canyon experience a little bit more.
Well, it's a perfect spot for doing what you're doing. The scenery there. I mean, you're right there at the bottom of the canyon, and the train going by.
If I'd had more time, I'd have taken it farther with curves and the river where it's wider. But we did not have time. We
rode up through there going to Roslyn, and it is gorgeous. It is gorgeous up in there. But we was in a good spot because of the side road access.
Yes,
which we could all park in, and then you could work from.
Nice, yeah.
And then having Big Daddy run up and down the road multiple times. Oh shit, I lost track.
I lost track too.
At least 10, 12 times.
And aren't they patient to do this with me?
Oh man, yeah. Nobody's complaining.
No.
And
did you tell Matt to signal me? Because every time I came back, Matt was the one that was going like this.
Well, man, one more time.
It wasn't.
I just told him. I said I need another because they heard me. I go, I had to bail out. It wasn't right. I had to bail. And I think they knew that means take 2, take 3, take 4, take 5. If I just told them I had to bail as a shitty shot or whatever, I had to bail.
Well, yeah, and then I don't know what it was. We had to reboot the Mavic.
Oh yeah.
Because you was having speed issues. It wasn't going over 20.
Right.
But that fixed it.
And that was just a setting. Actually.
So then you need.
Yes.
Okay, cool. And then you needed some more shot because you couldn't get that. And I
didn't have my ND filter on, and I had to bring it back down for an ND filter.
The sun got too bright.
Yeah.
It was. It's stuff I like to do.
Oh, it's cool, and I love having more time. Like I said, that's why I almost wrecked it again because we're in a rush.
Yeah,
and if I have more, I knew we had to be back.
We were pushing time.
And that's when I get sketchy. That's when I almost took out whoever said it in the chat. That's when I almost took out. We had dusk. We had a few minutes of dusk, and I needed dusk light for the LED shots, and that's when you get into sketchy situations. When I have more time, like down on 22 when we did it, I had more time and it didn't get as sketchy. It still takes a long time.
That took a long time because it was horrible.
It was windy and it was sketchy in its own
40
way.
40-mile-per-hour winds. That's probably what messed up my my sinuses and my respiratory system. I've been sick for the last few days. That day was just... It was a great learning experience for me.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it, especially playing around for 2 hours with the Cena Cavalry helmet, which we do stock in our store, www.lawabidingbiker.com/store. It's a great helmet. Even though we've had some feedback of people who have tried it and didn't like it as much, and we appreciate their feedback of their own testing, but the majority's been very positive. But that was a great learning experience. With this one, I felt a lot more at ease.
Good.
I just ignored the drone. I just ignored it.
Right. That's good. And it was so sunny that it would be hard for you to see it out of your peripheral. We won't get into too much into exactly how we do that, but it's a production, guys. And Russ saw it today. There's a lot of communication going on, and you have to do that in the right places, and you really need to know what you're doing.
Oh yeah, it was Matt and Brian and me were all looking out for other traffic coming, to let you know cars.
Yep.
You're going to have to wait. So
I basically had 4 visual observers.
You'd hover, and you'd hover, the Mavic up in the air. You'd just push it up in the airways and wait until traffic went by, and then there was nothing ever, coming down either side,
right?
From the north or south, and then
safety first, guys.
Go, Rick.
Yep.
Yeah. What did you think? I always thought it was interesting because when we were out outside of Mampton, and we did the one filming with the Victory Magnum, which I thought was some phenomenal shots. We just had one guy coming in and out of that country road, and he was waving at us and smiling and everything. This time we had a lot more cars kind of coming and going. What did you think of that? Because me, whenever I see that, I'm like, they're probably thinking, what are these guys doing? What are they doing? You know, I always feel like I'm getting strange looks as I'm sitting there. Why is he sitting on the side of the road?
They're going to call the authorities and say, there's some suspicious looking guys up there.
Definitely suspicious looking guys for sure.
But I don't really think they care. But it's just kind of interesting thinking,
I'm sure they're wondering.
The cars going by, what are these guys doing?
Yep.
What's that thing up in the air?
I remember when I first started Lab Media, now that I'm doing the production side of things so much, I used to be a lot more concerned about what other people thought. Now, it doesn't even cross my mind because I have business to do and I need to get shots and I don't even care because what we're doing is perfectly legal.
I used to be that way too.
Yeah.
And now
I carry a camera in a restaurant. Yeah, you're just like, whatever. I don't care. Yeah. Stare at me. I don't care. I need to get shots.
Yeah. We're doing stuff that I don't know. I would like to say that we're doing stuff that nobody else is doing with these free. I mean, we're talking free videos here. We're throwing out high definition videos. If you look at our videos from the very beginning to now, it's a totally different experience. And I think that's where you start seeing these guys giving donations, $10, $20, $50 donations because they saw a free video. And it was in the patrons, but I mean, just the donations. We have people that will send us emails and they'll be like, hey, I'm sending you a $50 donation because without your free video, I would have paid $450 to my Harley dealer to figure out how to do this or to do any of this stuff. And I think that goes back to the quality. If it was a shitty video, it's free, right? You get what you pay for. But if it's a shitty video, they might leave a comment saying, hey, thanks for helping me. You saved me some money. But when people actually go and put down a donation, whether it be $5, $10, $15, $50, we've even had $100 donations, and they're like, "Dude, you guys saved me $500. You deserve this $100." That means a lot to us, but not just because it helps us out and keeps our equipment and everything relevant, but it also makes us feel good that they think that is that good a quality.
Right.
Yes.
Right on.
Good. I was off on chat. Good, Rick. I was listening to most of that. There's some people. We're not going to get off on a side tangent on drone, but some guys asked. Yes, I am. I am a certified FAA pilot in command. They call it Part 107 by the FAA. So I didn't have to do that. We talked about that a little bit. Yeah, I did because I'm not for hire technically, but I felt it was necessary because I wanted to know and I wanted to be safe and I wanted to know airspace. And so I did. Guys, you drone people out there, I am Part 107 certified, but technically I don't have to do that at all. But I think it's wise for anybody to get certified Part 107.
I like what Z Monster says.
What do you say?
Shitty videos usually exclude the one reason I was trying to watch the video in the first place. Right on, brother.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's awesome. All right, we're getting close. But why don't you, anything else we want to talk about on that, guys? On the old video production? Russ, this is your time. You got the mic, man. Anything else you observed or stuff going on or stuff you're like, yeah, that was different or
No, well, you know, I was just immersed.
Oh, I did the GoPro shots too.
You two were geeking out. I mean, I would look over at Russ and he had his GoPro going and then he'd go over and he'd come over and I can't wait to see the pics because he was taking pics of
He got
Chola.
A bunch of B-roll and photography
and I mean,
stuff.
Chola was dirty as heck because I just wrote it up I haven't washed it in like 2 weeks.
Her up for whatever
but man, he was taking some I can't wait to see him. I mean, I can't wait because, I mean, those are the things that are cool when you have two technicians like that working and one doing the video and then you're over doing the side shots. That was a very cool experience for me. That was the first time that we'd gotten to do that, or at least I'd gotten to do that. So
cool. Yeah. Well, I'll get them all edited and you'll get them. Other than that, watching you guys, you know, collaborate, how you guys work together, which was pretty amazing to watch, I thought. And your production, your gear is minimal, but yet it's good.
I use it to its full extent.
Yeah. And we talked a lot about that going throughout the morning, the day, the afternoon while you was doing all this. And I'm impressed with what you're doing with what you have.
Awesome.
And
I love hearing that.
I
try to get the most out of what we do have. Portable, a lot of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
We're still growing. We're still building, you know.
What you're working with is, I mean, you're not using iPhones, but yet you're not using
Reds.
No, you're not into that.
Cameras,
you're not into that camp.
Yeah,
you're nowhere near that, and you should never be right for this.
Not for what we do now.
No, but I mean, you're using some mid-level gear, and you're putting out some top-notch quality stuff with it. And just watching how you did that today, and now I can see how you'll edit it out, but watching how you got it all together and how you collected and what you filmed was pretty cool.
And you'll get to see the final product and you'll know what went into it.
Oh, I was
and
there for it. Yeah.
How little it made it. And that's what they say.
Right.
That's what they say. If you don't have to have the top gear. If you know how to take the gear you have and you know how to properly manipulate it and use it to the fullest extent for what it's capable of, you can put out some amazing stuff.
Yep.
That's the key, is getting good with the gear that you have and knowing the rules.
In what I do, in NFL games and stuff, there's guys that are on the sidelines with Rebels. Okay? They're getting some good shots, but I use a Canon 1DX, well, a couple of them, and along with the 6D I got here for wide angle. But the better your tools, the better your stuff is.
Yes.
So, but it doesn't mean you can't get good stuff.
Right.
So,
and we've worked up. We started with nothing, and now we're mid-level, and and who knows where we'll go from there. Like Rick says,
you'll grow and you'll get better gear, but and then you'll be putting out even more and better stuff.
Yep.
But you're doing really excellent.
I want a bigger. Here's the deal: if I'm gonna crash into Lurch, I want a big ass drone to crash into him with. It's got to be so spectacular.
Yeah. And then we slow motion it and falling off.
You want the Octodrone, man.
Yeah, totally. Hey, think about this though. Remember that one time we filmed? It was actually you leased a specialty lens for the forward control. That was a 15, 16-hour day for the lowrider. And after doing so much with it, you went back to the equipment that you had and said, I can do better with this right now.
Right.
And so that you have tried some different stuff. You've definitely tried to improve yourself. And I know that Lurch has improved himself on the whole editing and the audio stuff with the podcast. And I've tried to improve myself with coming up to speed with modern technology versus, if it's me, I love the old carb bikes and stuff, and so I think we've all tried to improve. I remember you and Chewy did that whole series with the blacked out covers and stuff, and you guys took the time to make sure that was done in high definition and step by step. We're all improving. We're trying to.
Yep. Oh yeah. I think it shows. I definitely think it shows. And we appreciate everybody in the live chat. Let's scroll through there. Anything? We're going to close this up just because we want to stay on track, guys.
We've got. We had somebody ask if we could do a test on 114 cubic inch stage 3, and I said we can get our hands on one.
Yeah, if we can get our hands on one, we would love to. You never know what's coming in the future from Law Abiding Biker Media, but I do know we have tons of stuff. I'm just scrolling through the comments here. We have tons of stuff in the work. Anything else you want to say, Russell, before we close out here? I appreciate your input. It was great to see, to hear. That perspective, because we just we're on a mission. And like Lurch said, earlier today, we have our full-time jobs, and Russell said it too. And then when we actually have to do stuff and it sucks, but it is the way it is in order to get the amount of content we get to you guys, when we have time, we have to fill it every second to where we rush lunch, we rush dinner, we rush to get the live stream up just because we have to because the rest of the week, after our regular jobs during the day, we're all working in the evenings and mornings, and Rick's running the store, and that's when we're editing video, and Lurch is running the audio, because we got to get it, because then we can work remotely, and that's just the way it works. And so
we're driving here. I mean, for me, it's 150, 160 miles to come up here and do a video production or a podcast.
Right.
Lurch is busy at home doing, he's busy at his work, and he's running clear out from, West Valley. Pretty good trip. I mean, we try to make it work. We're traveling to get this stuff done. And so there's a lot of effort, I think, on our part. I think I'm giving us a kudos. I mean, we put a lot of work into this, and Dr. Dan says it best here. He says,
nice in the chat.
Yeah, he says, when it looks effortless, that there was a ton of work that went into it.
Right. Nice. Yeah. Man. Dr. Dan, straight up, dude, how can you do any better than that, man?
Yeah, it's not just the video editing and the production and the mechanical stuff. It's us getting the parts, ordering, and getting up here and getting it done.
Yes, absolutely. We got to close out on a comment like Dan, Dr. Dan, straight up, man,
Drop the mic.
We got lots of other we can talk about, but hey, it's a podcast. We'll just have to move it to another podcast, guys. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep coming at you. We appreciate all the support. We appreciate everybody in the live Facebook. If you haven't experienced the live episode, you hear us right here. You might be hearing it in podcast format later. Get on the free email list for live, lawabidingbiker.com /live. There's an email list in the upper right-hand corner. The only emails you'll get is when we go live. There's a big button. You push it, bam, it takes you right to the platform where we're at, which is YouTube Live right now. Yes, you can chat. Yes, you can super chat. Thank you, anybody who gave a super chat. We really appreciate it. We weren't able to quite keep up on it, but thank you for that. Thanks for the continued support. Yeah, all right. What should we do for a call to action there, Lurch? What do you think?
You pick one.
I think we should do a call to action on Bike Bright.
Right there. Bike Bright Spray Motorcycle Cleaner Degreaser, Motorcycle Wet Wash, guys. Absolutely the best wet wash motorcycle cleaner on the market. Guaranteed. Bike Bright, tried and tested right here by the Law Abiding Biker crew. It is our number one go-to wet wash motorcycle cleaner. Super foaming triple action formula gets in all the cracks and crevices. That's right. Russell, you know how we don't like dirty cracks and crevices.
That's right.
It's not right. It's not right. Easy as pie. Spray it on. Let it soak. Rinse it off, Bikeaholics. Then get out there and spend more time riding. It's that quick. Check out our whole line of Bike Bright products for your specific motorcycle cleaning needs and detailing needs. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com /store. Big Daddy Kane.
What's up?
Has it in stock and ready to ship to you direct right now. Don't forget, in between those wet washes, we recommend our number one go-to waterless cleaner, Bug Slide. That's right, guys. Get it. It maintains your bike in between those pesky wet washes.
And we
love the
sell
slide.
a lot of Bug Slide, and we use it religiously.
Yep.
I love the slide.
Oh, love the slide. Don't ride without the slide. We use it on our bikes, our chrome, our paint, our helmets, my shield. I use it at my Leo job, on my Leo bike, my Leo helmet, my Leo shield. All the guys use it now. I've introduced them to it. They're like, this stuff is just awesome, man. It is. It's a one-in-all solution. Guys, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.